Hey friends, I have packed today's video with tons of fall inspired recipes, everything from super easy weeknight recipes, we have a delicious sweet treat in here, to a couple of super easy and delicious game day recipes. If you are in the need for some fall recipes, some new things to try, you're in the right place. Grab you a snack, something to drink, and let's get started. Next up, we have caramel apple dump cake. And oh my goodness, y'all gotta make this. Y'all gotta make it this weekend. So we're gonna start with 2 cans of apple pie filling. We're just gonna dump that into a 9x13. So once you have all your apples in your dish and just spread it out pretty evenly, we're gonna add half a cup of caramel, which one do y'all say? I say caramel sauce. I just heated mine up in the microwave to make it a little bit easier to kind of just drizzle over. On top of the caramel, we're going to add a sprinkle of nutmeg, a sprinkle of allspice, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Next, you're going to get a box of butter pecan cake mix. We're going to dump this entire thing right over top of the apples. Next, we're going to take about 1 stick of butter, cutting it into thin little slivers, and we're going to place this all over top of that cake mix, being sure not to leave any large gaps in between, because this butter is going to melt all down over this cake mix and apples. And oh my gosh, did I tell y'all need to make that this weekend? You really do. And lastly, we're going to add about a half a cup to a cup of chopped pecans, and this is going to bake in the oven for about 50 minutes. So when this bakes in the oven, a little bit of magic happens. I'm telling you guys, this was delicious. I'm not even a huge cooked apple fan, but that cake mix and butter and pecans all did something so good. It was almost like a praline topping on top of those apples. And of course, we topped with some vanilla ice cream, and this was the absolute perfect fall dessert. So I just have a glass pie plate here. So first I have some cream cheese. I just softened it slightly in the microwave. And I'm just gonna take the back of my spoon and kind of spread it out all in my pie dish. Next, we're gonna take 1 can of chili. I'm just using the Hormel chili with no beans. If you want beans, of course you can get the kind with. And then lastly, right on top of that chili, we're just gonna add a good handful of sharp cheddar cheese. All right, and that is it. This is going into the oven at 350 for just about 20 minutes. I knew I wanted to share this recipe this week because if you need a last-minute recipe for the game this weekend, this is what you should make. It turned out delicious. All right, this is not my recipe. This is a creamy butternut squash with sausage and gnocchi, thyme and sage. Like I said, all those fall flavors, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, make it just a little bit more Jen style, a little bit easier. So let's start with the chicken sausage. The original recipe uses Italian sausage, so you could use that as well. And you want to use the Italian sausage with the casings removed. I just really love chicken sausage. I'm not a huge Italian sausage fan. Next, we're gonna need some potato gnocchi. We have some fresh thyme and some fresh sage, as well as some minced garlic, of course our salt and pepper, and then the other thing I'm gonna try to change up a little bit, they used some butternut squash puree, but I thought why not just use a little bit of pumpkin? You only add about a cup or so to the whole thing, and the flavors are kind of similar. And like I said, canned pumpkin is a little bit easier, so we're gonna try it out. We're also gonna need just a little bit of heavy cream, a little bit of chicken broth, and that is it, you guys. Let's put this together. All right, first I have a large skillet over here. We're just gonna get that heating up on medium heat and add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. To our pan, we're just gonna add in our chicken sausage. And I have the package over there if you didn't see. This is just the bourbon apple chicken sausage. And we just sliced it up into about 1/2 inch little pieces. And we are just gonna brown this up on both sides. Y'all have to let me know what your plans are for Thanksgiving. Do you have people come into your house? Are you traveling, going out of town? All right, our sausage has some good color on it. I'm gonna turn it down just for a second. And now we're just gonna add in our potato gnocchi right into the same pan. We're also gonna add in 1 cup of heavy cream. We're gonna add 1/2 cup of chicken broth. All right, I'm gonna turn this back up to medium. We're gonna give everything a little stir. And we're just gonna bring this up to a boil. And the recipe says to cook the gnocchi for about 5 minutes. I'm also gonna go ahead and pop the lid on there. All right, our gnocchi has been cooking for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and give everything a stir. We can already see it's starting to thicken up. Those gnocchi are starting to kind of swell up as they cook. All right, next we're gonna add a little bit of pumpkin. The recipe, like I said, calls for pureed butternut squash, about 1 cup. But I'm just gonna add some pureed pumpkin. I don't think I'm gonna add quite a cup. We're also gonna add some minced garlic. All right, it says stir everything well and bring this back to a boil. I'm also gonna go ahead and sprinkle in some fresh thyme as well as some fresh sage. See, all of these herbs we're sticking with are Thanksgiving flavors. We're also gonna add some black pepper. And the recipe has a little note in there. It says use your best judgment when it comes to the salt. So I'm gonna let this cook just another minute or two and then we'll give it a taste. And that way we can kind of decide how much salt we wanna add. All right, I just gave it a try. It's actually really delicious. Just the tiniest little hint of sweetness in there. It's not overly sweet, of course. I'm just gonna add the smallest little amount of salt. I am using reduced sodium chicken broth, so I'm gonna add just a touch more broth just to kind of thin this out because I feel like that gnocchi needs to cook just another minute or two. Stir that in. And like I said, I think this will be perfect to kind of switch things up, especially if you have people staying at your house for a few days. This would be a really good, still cozy, still comforting Thanksgiving type meal, but different flavors in there. But this next recipe is a maple Dijon autumn sheet pan dinner. All right, so for this sheet pan meal, we're actually gonna start with a couple of our vegetables that are gonna take a little bit longer. We're gonna use some sweet potato, if that doesn't scream fall. I don't know what will. And we have some Brussels sprouts. I'm just gonna kind of put some on the sheet pan. I might not use all of these potatoes because it is a good bit. We're gonna have a couple other things adding to our sheet pan here in just a minute. I'm gonna add some Brussels sprouts. Also, you can really do this with any vegetables that you want. If you don't like Brussels sprouts, you could use broccoli, kind of in a single flat layer here. I am gonna give them just a little drizzle of olive oil, avocado oil, whatever this is. All right, let's go ahead and toss these around gently. And I'll spread back out. And with the Brussels sprouts, if you want to get them all kind of face down, that's where that really good caramelization happens on that side. So let's go ahead and get these all flipped over. We're also gonna sprinkle on some Italian seasoning. We're also gonna add just a little sprinkle of salt and pepper. These tend to be noisy, so I'm telling y'all before I do it, but y'all, I love these things. I'll have these linked in my little Amazon storefront. And pepper. And I already have my oven preheated to 400. These are just gonna go in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, while our potatoes and Brussels sprouts bake in the oven, we're gonna start to work on our sauce. It's gonna go on everything. All right, so I just added some minced garlic to my little bowl here. Now we're gonna add in about a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. Just gonna eyeball it. And we're also gonna add about a 1/3 cup of Dijon mustard. All right, now we're just gonna mix everything together. I'm gonna add just a little bit more Italian seasoning to our sauce. Of course, Italian seasoning has all those good kind of Thanksgiving fall vibe seasonings going on in there. All right, let's put that to the side. When our sheet pan comes out with those potatoes, we're gonna add some slices of some red onion, as well as some chicken apple sausage. Thought this would be perfect in there. I love chicken sausage, but that chicken and apple is gonna go so good with our sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts. It's gonna be perfect. So let's get those all sliced up while that's in the oven. All right, so for these, I probably do about little 1/2 inch thick pieces. You can see the little chunks of apple in there. These are so good. But you could use any type of sausage. If you want to do like an andouille sausage, smoked turkey sausage, any one of those would be really good.
Kielbasa.
Yes, kielbasa. We should do a turkey sausage next and do like a full Thanksgiving on a sheet pan with some white potatoes, turkey sausage. We could put some whole cranberries on there. Wonder if that would work. We should experiment that and see. I mean, I could have used a smaller cutting board, you know, like this one's kind of big. Could have used a smaller one.
Surprisingly, you only lost one little tiny sausage.
Our chicken sausage and our onion over there. All right, our sweet potatoes and Brussels have been in there for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna bring them over here with everything else. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give these a toss. You can see those Brussels sprouts are starting to get some color on them. They're gonna be so good, especially after we add that maple Dijon sauce on top. All right, got those spread out. Now we're just gonna add in our red onion. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that. And we're gonna add in our chicken apple sausage. And here is that sauce that we made. I about said dressing. Same thing, let's get that poured all over everything. All right, we're gonna toss this around. I'm sorry if y'all hear my washing machine in the background, or dryer. Let's toss this around, and this is gonna go back in the oven at 400, probably for another 20 to 30 minutes. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. I wanna make sure our sweet potatoes especially are really nice and soft. All right, I'm gonna spread everything out as evenly as I can. Probably won't fit quite on one single layer, but we can get it pretty close. So good, this is a perfect fall dinner. And look at those colors too. Could not be more perfect for October and Halloween. All right, going back into the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, this smells so good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one more toss. So I actually did turn my oven up to 450 at the end, and I just put mine in there for about 5 minutes. I just really like to get some more of those little caramelized bits on everything. I think that kind of makes it. So I'll be sure to add that in my instructions down below or to the recipe link. But on the side, I'm just gonna serve ours up with a little bit of rice. There's our chicken sausage and our veggies. Look how good this looks. Super delicious, really healthy, and honestly, really, really easy. This is so good, y'all. Next up, we have a buffalo chicken ring. This is super easy to make, but it makes for a little bit more of a fun presentation, whether it's for game day parties or just a casual get together. So for this recipe down here, we have 2 cans of chicken, again drained and rinsed. We're gonna use 1/2 block of cream cheese, which we're gonna soften here in just a second. For this recipe, we're gonna need 2 cans of the Pillsbury Crescent rolls. And then over here, we just have some shredded Monterrey Jack cheese. Cheddar works really well in this recipe too. And then of course, you're gonna need your favorite buffalo sauce. I have these two out here. Normally we are big fans of Frank's Red Hot, in particular the wing sauce for something like this, but we noticed that Kinder's has came out with a line of sauces and they have a buffalo, so we're very eager to try this out and see how it is. All right, so first we're gonna make our filling for our buffalo chicken ring. We're gonna add in our canned chicken first. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and break up my chicken into a little bit of smaller pieces. All right, next we're gonna add in that cream cheese. We just softened it in the microwave so we can stir it a little easier. Next, we're gonna add in a bag of Monterey Jack cheese. And like I said, you can use cheddar in this as well. That's what I would typically use in like a buffalo chicken dip. But we love the cheese pull of a Monterey Jack. Makes it super creamy and cheesy and just really good. All right, so for hot sauce, Darren tried the Kinder's. It's the wing and dip sauce in the buffalo flavor. I'm not sure what all kinds they have. I know they have a whole entire line, so I'm really excited to kind of give these all a try. But Darren said it's pretty spicy, so how much should we use? Maybe about, what's a third cup? Let's try a third cup. I'll put the measurements we end up using down below. But I don't want to make it too spicy because my kids do really love buffalo chicken stuff. It smells good, oh my goodness. My mouth is watering, y'all. All right, let's just give everything a stir. It smells so good. That buffalo sauce, I can already tell it's gonna be good. All right, so when you're making a buffalo chicken ring, the consistency is gonna be a little bit different than like a dip. You really want it to kind of hold its shape more because when we place it in the ring, we don't want it to be, you know, melting and falling out everywhere. So I think this consistency looks pretty good. You can kind of see how it kind of holds its shape and sticks together. I'm gonna get that to the side. All right, next we just have a pizza pan here. I'm gonna spray it with some cooking spray, just kind of lightly. You can also use some parchment paper, I guess, if you wanted to do that. And then next we're gonna bring over our crescent rolls. I'm sure most of y'all know how to make a crescent roll ring at this point, but I'm still gonna show you just in case somebody doesn't. So basically, your crescent rolls, of course, come in these little triangles. We're gonna kind of gently pull them apart, and then the long flat side goes towards the middle, and the pointy side goes out, almost like we're gonna be creating a sun. And when we roll it up, you'll see we'll create a ring. One thing you can do is place a bowl right in the center of your pan, and that will kind of give you a guide if you want it to be, you know, perfect. I usually don't care, but let's make it perfect today, or as close as we can. And all you do, when you take your second triangle, you want it to kind of overlap a little bit, like that. And since you have 8 triangles in one can, that's just a good way to kind of guide yourself, just to use 8 on one side and 8 on the other. All right, so y'all can see how we kind of have about half of our pan filled up. We have 8 croissants on that side. So I'm gonna grab our second can of crescent rolls and do the same thing back here. All right, so I have all of my crescent rolls in there. I'm gonna remove the bowl, and now I'm just gonna flatten out this part, because this part right here is just our surface area for where we're gonna place that buffalo chicken. All right, now I've brought back over our buffalo chicken mixture. We're just gonna start placing it around the ring. All right, so lastly, we're just gonna take each little triangle and kind of fold it over and pinch it to the middle. We're gonna do this all the way around the ring. So when we're doing this, we're gonna pretty much cover all the chicken, but if you have little spaces in there, that is perfectly fine. The main thing is you just wanna kind of get it at the bottom so it doesn't start popping out at the bottom. I already have the oven on 350. This is going in there for anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes till it's nice and golden brown. looks so good, smells delicious. I'm gonna add my bowl back to the middle. We're gonna add some ranch. That way if people wanna have ranch on top, they can drizzle a little bit on top. Of course, you could add blue cheese if you like that as well. Celery sticks to make it cute. You could also serve it with celery and or carrot sticks. Friends, if you are still here in the video, let me know which one of these recipes kind of caught your eye, which one you might try first. Also, leave me a fall leaf emoji down there in the comments so I'll know that you stopped by today. I would love to tell you hello down there and see how your week has been so far. I hope you're all doing amazing, and I'll see y'all real soon in my next video. Bye, y'all.